Hey, nerdy sports fan here, and we're continuing our series regrading the 2017 draft and getting into the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the reason we're doing this a few years later is because, well, conventional wisdom is that you don't know what you have in these guys until they've been in the league a few years. Their level of competition has increased dramatically. You don't know how they're going to deal with that, how they're going to deal with needing to know more technique versus just being able to apply their superior physicality to the field, which is what most of them do to be very, very good in high school and college. Um, and you don't know how they're going to handle fame and money and how they're just going to grow as people. So, yeah, always good looking back to see what the front office is doing and how successful they've been at their main job of keeping a good flow of talent into the team. So, in the second round, pick number 12, this is their first pick for reasons that everybody should know by now. So, the Rams are the worst team in the league as far as trading away their good draft picks for win now mode. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I do not agree with it in any way whatsoever. You know, some teams have been able to do it very successfully because they're always drafting late anyway. And this is a Patriots sort of theory. So if you're always drafting at like the 31st or 32nd pick in the first round draft pick is really valued around the same as a second rounder anyway. So, you know, if you can trade it away far enough out from the draft that people think that might not be that far down, you have more value on it. So trading it away and getting a player that you know is going to be a solid player right now, there's some value there if you know you're always going to have a late first round draft pick. Well, the Rams did that, and they're not giving away only late first round draft picks because they were not able to sustain high end winning in the way that the Patriots were. So now these draft picks are worth a hell of a lot more, and they should have kept the damn things. So anyways, they don't have a pick until the second round. Got it. Pick number 12, they get Gerald Everett, tight end out of Southern Alabama. Now, Everett, he's a bit of an enigma. I like him. I really like his style of play. But just through injuries and lack of targets, a lot of cases, you don't really get the value out of him that you should. He's a good player, but he's not used quite well enough to outline his talents. I don't necessarily think it's a great offensive fit for him, maybe. I'm not really sure what's going on there. So then in the third round, pick number 5, you get Cooper Kupp. Fan-frickin-tastic. Okay, Cooper Kupp, when healthy, is the number 1 offensive target for the passing game. And you got him in the third round. He fits right in with this offense. Okay, this offense isn't the, down the sideline deep ball kind of offense that it used to be for the Rams. Okay, this isn't the greatest show on turf. This is a very run-heavy offense, and when it comes to the wide receivers, it's, route combinations in a way to break people open so you can see what they do after the catch. It's, the West Coast offense. It's been done for a very long time. This is kind of the Shanahan variety of it. And you see what the 49ers have been able to do with it. It's been around a while. Okay, just McVay has a different little spin on it, but it's not exactly that different. So Cooper Kupp isn't the fastest dude on the planet. He's not the tallest, but he's very, very quick in breaking off his routes. And that is the most important thing with getting open. So if you're running a lot of short to intermediate routes towards the middle of the field, having a guy that can change directions extremely fast is the most important thing. So the guy breaks open all the goddamn time. And he's a dangerous, dangerous weapon in this style of offense. So, also in round 3, pick number 27, they get John Johnson. The safety out of BC is solid. He's one of the best defensive secondary players on the team. All right. He's forgotten about a lot of cases. People talk about Aaron Donald not having a lot of help on that defense. He doesn't, but John Johnson's not really somebody you can circle and say there's the problem. All right, he's damn good. So they do have a decent secondary between Johnson and Ramsey. It should have been better. It really should have, because they at one point they had Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib there, and it just never ended up turning into what it was supposed to be. So now they're scrambling and throwing draft picks away on people like Ramsey in order to make something happen. And Ramsey's damn good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, they shouldn't have had to invest as much as they did in their defensive secondary because they thought they had it sewed up. All right. Josh Reynolds, their fourth round pick number 10, a wide receiver out of Texas A&M, is solid. You know, he's not spectacular. They had Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp, and you don't really need a heck of a lot after that. And now, you know, they drafted the kid out of Florida who's going to be over and above him on the draft. On the depth chart as well. But having a solid number 3, number 4 receiver, depending on what offensive set you're running, is good. Okay? When you're stretching teams out with 4 wide receivers, having your 4th best guy being better than their 4th best DB is still a very good matchup issue to have. So, yeah, having Reynolds there in place is good for depth. All right, Sam Ibukum. Ibukum? Yeah, something like that. The outside linebacker out of Eastern Washington is a solid, yet not spectacular linebacker. Linebacker in general is kind of an undervalued position in the way that running back and interior offensive lineman is. Because you find good quality starting players this late in the draft all the goddamn time at linebacker, interior offensive line, and running back. So the fact that he's a good linebacker is great. Okay, you want to have a solid starter in place for every position. But this is kind of where you expect to see him. So it's not like it's extremely valuable that you got a starting linebacker at that position. It's what I expect. All right. So Tanzel Smart, the defensive tackle out of Tulane, he's a nothing kind of player. He's rotational depth at best on defensive line, and rotational depth is a good thing to have, but you know he's a 6th round pick. He falls right in with where you expect a 6th round pick to be at their absolute best. 7th rounders, Sam Rogers, the fullback, and Ewan Price, the defensive end out of Pitt. Neither one are in the league anymore. So you have a very talented tight end that hasn't necessarily been used the best to show his top end potential. You have one of the better receivers in the league, who is the best receiver on this team by far. You've got your best safety and a good depth receiver who's a solid special teams contributor and a starting linebacker. So you have 5 valuable starter level positions in one draft. That's nuts. All right? The only issue here is that none of them are like extremely high-end value positions. So it's not your starting corner or your quarterback or, you know, a number 1 outside receiver or, you know, your left tackle. You don't have one of the premier positions covered here. So, you know, you're not getting an A+, but that's still an A. Okay, getting 5 starter or just important contributor positions in the same draft is damn good. And even though they're trading away first-round draft picks left and right to fill the top end of the roster, if they continue to draft like this, the Rams are going to be successful for a very long time. Getting McVay in that draft room with the front office members all on the same page to get the kind of players that he wants, very important, and this is where it started to work out for them. So, let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I gave the draft an A. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on it. Hit me up in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content as always, and check out the other videos as I'm making one of these for every team in the league. Next week, we start fantasy football content. So I can't wait. Thanks for watching, guys.